right. Welcome back to the SFL show where we like to talk sports, family, and life. I am Darius Barnes, and I'm happy to be back. We've been away for a nice little while. Had some family stuff going on that we had to get taken care of. Some college stuff with the kids that we had to get done as we're starting to wind down with their senior year, and they're starting to make decisions. So these 2 weeks with the NFL been off gave me a little bit of time to get a lot of that done, and now we're back. So happy to be back. Happy to be talking again. We got a Super Bowl game that we're going to be talking about. That I'm very excited about. This is a rematch from a couple of years ago, so we'll talk about that. Won't get into the championship games. I know those opinions have been exhausted, but we'll talk through some of those games as well. See if we can go back, recap some of that, and we just talk about some of the other things that are going on in sports. So let's go ahead. Let's jump right in. As I stated, we have a Super Bowl game. You have your Patrick Mahomes led Kansas City Chiefs going up against the Brock Purdy led San Francisco 49ers. And for the last 2 weeks, it seems that the conversation has been still, is Brock Purdy for real? And does he gain some validation with winning this game? Or is he already validated before this game is even played? Has he already showed who he is, what he can do? So you're hearing that argument. Of course, you're hearing the argument from Patrick Mahomes whether he wins this. Is he the GOAT? No, right now already. Does he already take that mantle from who most of us deem to be the best quarterback to ever play, which is Tom Brady? Um, does winning this third Super Bowl put him there, or is there still more work to do? So a lot of different conversations going on. I understand that these conversations has to be had to fill space. Now, of course, they're all opinion based, but to me, a lot of it is. I'm not gonna say nonsense. My brother, my younger brother, who I'm always trying to get on here, always talks about how a lot of these topics are brought up just for conversational pieces. No, and no sides have to be chosen, and it's conversational pieces. And I'm starting to see more of that now, especially when it comes to the whole Brock Purdy conversation. Brock Purdy has done nothing in the NFL since he's been playing. I know he's just been a year or whatever, but win games and do it at a just a high level. I mean, he makes plays when he needs to make plays. Does he still make the first year, second year quarterback mistakes? Absolutely. Absolutely. But this whole notion of if he can still play or can he play, I don't really get that. No, I heard Bomani Jones say a little while ago. Of course, I'm always listening to those guys. I know those guys there are smart when you talk about the Bomani Jones and the Dominic Foxworth and the Michael Smith, those individuals. And they were talking and they were saying, one thing that they recognize that I see, and I want to make sure I say this right, is when an individual shows you that they have the ability to play, then okay, that question has been answered. You can ask the question, okay, well, can they get to the next level? Can they get clutch? Can they make clutch plays? Whatever the case may be, you can ask those questions. But once they display on the field or the court, wherever it may be, that they can actually play the sport, then we shouldn't ask that question anymore. Once Lamar Jackson displayed that he could play quarterback, even if he loses the game against the Patrick Mahomes led Chiefs that they should have won, we shouldn't go all the way back. Oh well, he just can't play. He just can't throw in the pocket. We're gonna go all the way back to the beginning as to what they were saying before. I kind of agree with that. We shouldn't do that. And I think Brock Purdy has displayed that he can play football, that he can be a competent quarterback in the NFL, and he can possibly lead a Super Bowl team to a championship. Period. Game manager, game changer. I get all of that. I understand the concept of it. I think what matters most, does this individual get out there and does he win games with who is on the field with him? Period. You know, um, I don't think we have to say, oh, well, he can't do what Josh Allen does. That's okay. No, he can't do what Lamar. That's okay. That's fine. But can he step on the field and can he lead his team to a championship with what's out there with him? To me, that's all that matters. No, it doesn't matter if he can't go to another team and do it. Doesn't matter. There's a lot of quarterbacks that went to another team and were not able to win a Super Bowl. Tom Brady, the first one that comes to mind. I'm sure there's some old school guys that's probably did it as well. No, maybe one or two, but no, there's not a lot of quarterbacks that went to another team, won championships. Peyton Manning did it. He did it with the Colts as well as the Broncos. Although that Broncos championship, he kind of got carried. No, I'm not saying it in a bad way to diminish Peyton Manning's greatness, but there's not many quarterbacks that go from one team to the next and win championships. I'm thinking about there's a lot that's going through my mind that went to Super Bowls with various teams. You got Kurt Warner, who's done it. He did it with the Cardinals. He also did it with the Rams. Who else comes to mind? Joe Montana got close, of course, with the 49ers. And, of course, he went to the Chiefs. I think he made it to an AFC championship. So there's quarterbacks that's went to other Super Bowls, but there's that many quarterbacks that go from other teams and do it. So we got to stop putting that in the criteria. Well, okay, well, can he do it without the talent? Doesn't matter. He has the talent on his team, and we won't have to worry about that unless he gets traded or whatever the case may be. Brock Purdy is a really good quarterback. I think he plays well in that system, and I think that they have a chance to win that Super Bowl simply because of the fact that he is on the field playing quarterback when he wasn't last year in that NFC Championship, and it showed. To me, case closed. He can play ball. Let's move on to the next thing. When it comes to the Chiefs, I was having this conversation with my younger brother as well, and I'm going to try to explain what I'm saying, what I'm talking about, and see if I can make it make sense. I watched the Kansas City Chiefs this year, and there wasn't a time where I felt like they were dominant. I mean, I know they lost, and I'm just going through their schedule in my mind. I know they lost their first game against Detroit, lost at home. I think they came back the second game, they beat Jacksonville. And then it was kind of like this iffy, team that was dropping passes. They had a really good defense. Um, and they were just kind of on and off all year, on and off all year, even to the point where some people were saying, I guess, no, this is the year to get them. You know, but the thing that was surprising to me, the things that kind of stuck out to me is Patrick Mahomes played this year, and we all know the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. In my eye, Patrick Mahomes is Aaron Rodgers, no 2.0, and the reason I say that is Aaron Rodgers was, I don't know if we want to say is, I don't know if he's going to come back, the most talented quarterback that I had ever seen play. And the reason that I say that is because he was a quarterback, in my opinion, that had no weaknesses. He can make every throw. He did not turn the ball over. He was able to move around in the pocket. I mean, anything that you needed a quarterback to be able to do, Aaron Rodgers was able to do it. And you look at quarterbacks like Drew Brees, who had some mobility, but his height was almost like a defect, and he had to work with that. You would see him throwing his tippy toes. You look at quarterbacks like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady; they weren't your scramblers. They had to get the ball out fast. If you were able to get pressure on them, you could kind of affect how they played the game. I mean, you saw the Giants do it with their Super Bowls against the Patriots, and you saw Peyton Manning whenever he got that pressure up the middle because he didn't have the ability to scramble. It made it a little bit tougher on him. You had other quarterbacks like Dan Marino that did not have the ability to really move like that. So I looked at Aaron Rodgers was like and was why I see why Stephen A. says a bad man because there was really no weakness that he had. Well, I'll say it this way: if there was a weakness, maybe he did not have the ability to win tough games, and I don't know if that is a skill. Some people will probably tell you it is. Well, Tom Brady used to do it, so some people will probably tell you that it's a skill, that there's a clutch gene or something like that. I really don't know. We'll have to think about it a little bit more, put some more thought into it. Um, but and the reason I'm saying that because he did win a Super Bowl that was pretty clutch, and he did that with a bunch of receivers that I don't even remember because they all got hurt. So I don't know if that is actually a skill, but when you look at what Aaron Rodgers was, and I know I'm taking a scenic way around with this, to me, he had no weaknesses. He was just if you were to go into a lab and build a quarterback, boom, this is what you would come up with. You know, from the physical standpoint, the mind, the mental aspect, of course, we know Tom Brady probably is the best at that. You want to put that in every quarterback. But from the physical standpoint, this is the mutant quarterback that you would create. Someone that's able to do the things that Aaron Rodgers can do. I think Patrick Mahomes is 2.0 of that. And like I said, I know I took a long way around, but I think Patrick Mahomes is 2.0 of that. And I bring that up because anytime the Chiefs offense stepped on the field, Patrick Mahomes was probably one of the top three players that were out there on the field. And normally, and this is what I was trying to explain, normally, if you want to have an opportunity or a chance to win the Super Bowl, you need your top player. No, I'll even say your MVP type player to have MVP type seasons. No, you look at Baltimore. If Baltimore wanted a chance to win the Super Bowl, Lamar had to play at the MVP level, and when he did that, you see they had a chance. If Buffalo wanted to play a chance to play for Super Bowl, no, Buffalo had to play at. Josh Allen had to play at MVP level, and you see that where your top players really have to play at a particular level for you to get to where you want to be. And I'm like, man, I'm thinking about that, and I was like, I don't ever remember Patrick Holmes being in that MVP talk, in that MVP topic conversation. And when you look, he didn't have like your MVP type season either. And I'm not saying that he didn't do great things. We know the greatness of Patrick Mahomes, things like that. But I'm sure there's reasons why he did not have the season where he's throwing 50 or 40 touchdowns, whatever the case may be. But he didn't have that MVP type season. He was not in that MVP talks. And then you get into the playoffs, and even in the playoffs, he's done some really efficient things. He's done some great. The first two drives against Baltimore, amazing. What it was, 11 for 11. A touchdown pass, another touchdown drive where he leads. Isaiah Pacheco scores a touchdown. No, maybe 106 yards or something like that. I think his stats somewhere around there. Very efficient, things like that. But he hasn't really been like Patrick Mahomes. Like he hasn't done anything, in my opinion. I could be way off, and maybe I'm just looking at the numbers to where you say, "Oh wow, that's why that dude is that dude." He's made some great throws, but he hasn't had that game. But that's why that dude is that dude. Yet they're still in the Super Bowl. And I was trying to think of another team where they had an MVP type caliber player on their team, yet that player did not have to play at that level to get to a Super Bowl. So if you can think of one, please let me know. Um, there are some that we were trying to throw out there when we were like, well, Peyton Manning when they played for Denver, and I was like, well, when Peyton Manning played for Denver, he kind of was not one of the top players that stepped on the field when he stepped on the field. He really wasn't. You know, he was kind of being, they were holding hands. I don't want to say carry, but they were kind of holding hands and doing this together. No, but I'm talking about give me a time where Buffalo is stepping on the field and they need to win this game and they need to do it, but Josh Allen is not going to be the one to do it in this big game. So I don't know if I explained that the right way, but no, that's very interesting to me, and I think that just speaks to the coaching. I think that speaks to the continuity that the team has, how they're able to keep things together and keep pretty much that foundation together, even though they have coordinators leave here, coordinators leave there, but they're still able to keep whatever it is that's holding that together. Maybe it's Andy Reid, and continue to build and continue to find new ways to win games. Because I can think of a couple of games that the Kansas City Chiefs has won, and Patrick Mahomes has done Mahomes things like, okay, yes, back shoulder throw to Travis Kelsey against one of the top safeties in the NFL. I mean, yeah, great. That is awesome. That throw was amazing. But you just hadn't seen him, or I hadn't seen him just really just take things over and say, okay, fellas, jump on my back. Kind of like he did in that first Super Bowl against the 49ers, where he was like, jump on my back. I got it. Or like the Philly Super Bowl, where he like, jump on my back. I got it. So just a thought. No, just a thought. But I think it just goes to show the greatness of not just Patrick Mahomes, but that organization. That organization, I think, needs to get a lot more talk. I know people will want to argue dynasty or not, but you look at what that organization has been doing, what the Chiefs have been doing since Andy Reid has been there. Go all the way back to when they had Alex Smith. They didn't start winning just when they had Patrick Mahomes. Alex Smith was winning that division as well. They weren't going as far in the playoffs, but that team has been pretty solid for a nice little while. So what they're doing over there, no, it works. No, it works. We might want to start looking at Andy Reid as one of the top coaches to ever coach this game, especially if you count what he was doing over there with Philadelphia with Donovan McNabb. Because I even think over there he went to like 3 or 4 NFC championships in a row. So that dude's a boss. Andy Reid's a boss. As he eat his cheeseburger. So that's our Super Bowl. We got the Chiefs going up against the 49ers. I think that's going to be a great game this weekend. Of course, we'll do some dips, some finger foods, things like that, and enjoy that game. Let's rewind. Let's go back. Like I said, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but you did have those AFC and NFC championship games that were surprising to say the least. I think they were surprising with both outcomes because of how the games went. You had the Chiefs going up against the Ravens. Not going to spend a lot of time on it. Like we said, we've talked about it. A lot of people are saying that this was Lamar Jackson's opportunity. This was his chance. He blew it. And we don't know. No, we just went back. Well, we don't know if he can win a big game. I'm not there. I think that he is still young. He's still learning. Everyone's learning curve is not the same. I think Lamar would be fine. I do think that this was an opportunity for them. They had the home field advantage, and they just came up short. Turnovers. I think they were out coached in a way. I'm still blown away how they played that game with only 6 rushers from their running back. When you're talking about a team that is really good at running the ball and a defense where if they are successful at something, it's having the ball ran against them. So I'm still a little like, wow. What we doing here? Were we trying to prove a point that Lamar Jackson can't stand in the pocket and throw? Don't know what was going on there. I do think the coaches played a part with the outcome of that game, especially those offensive coaches on the Baltimore side. I think Harbaugh has to take some some of the blame for how that game was called. But I don't think Baltimore's going anywhere. I think they're going to be right there. As for the next couple of years, if they continue to build, if they continue to do what they're doing, they'll be right there to compete for a championship. And then you had the other side where you had the 49ers going up against the Detroit Lions. And this is a game the Lions should have won, in my opinion. And that's not to take anything away from the 49ers. I mean, they did what they had to do to come back and win that game. But when you look at how that game was going, the Lions were dominating that game. They were running the ball when they wanted to. They were making big plays in the pass game. I mean, whatever they needed to have happened. And I think momentum switched Right as the second half started. The Lions got the ball. They drove down the field. I mean, the 49ers got the ball, drove down the field, kicked the field goal. That made it 24-10. And the Lions got the ball. They drove down the field goal range. And instead of kicking the field goal, they went for the first down. They didn't get it. And of course, I think the game changed there. There's always this conversation about should they have gone for it? Should they have done this? Should they have done that? It's been back and forth with that as well. Like I said, we're not going to rehash it too much. I will say that I thought that they could have kicked the field goal in both instances where they had opportunities. Here's why. I think it was very important to keep that game in a three possession game in that third quarter. When they went down and they got that field goal, I think that what Detroit and Dan Campbell should have did is at the least match it. At the least match it. So when they got the field goal range and they had to make that decision to go forward, kick the field goal. I think that they should have kicked the field goal there because that takes it back to a three possession game. And that means that they have to have the ball more. And they have to continue to do things. So I thought they should have did it there. My reasoning for thinking that they should have kicked that last field goal when they were down, I think it was it 27-24? I think that was the score, 27-24. I think that it was very important and this was the 49ers that were up, by the way, they came back. I think it was important for them to kick that field goal there because it ties the game up. And it makes where if the 49ers were to score again, it's still a one possession game. Whereas you go for it, you don't get it. Now they score as a two possession game, and there's not enough time. So, no, I like Dan Campbell going for it. I enjoyed that all season, but I just think in those particular moments, he needed to be a little bit more strategic. He needed to keep them at a three possession game. That would have kept making it hard for them to catch up. You would have had to depend on Brock Purdy to throw the ball more, things of that nature. Who knows if there would have been a mistake made? No, we don't know. And then in that last one, if you kick the field goal, at least you're tied up. And if they do score, just one possession, and you just need one score, whether that be a field goal, whether that be a touchdown. You just need one score, so you're still within reach of winning that game. And of course, when that didn't happen, 49ers get down, they score a touchdown, and they go up by 10, and the game is essentially over. So, feel bad for Detroit. I did because I really thought they were going to win that game. I thought they dominated that game. I thought they outplayed them. But Detroit, believe it or not, I think they'll be back. I think Jared Goff's going to make another jump. I think he's going to be better this upcoming year as he continued to learn. Ben Johnson is coming back as the offensive coordinator. I think that is a good thing. We'll see what's going on with Aaron Glenn if he's going to continue to be the defense coordinator. They get more pad rush, maybe get a shutdown cornerback. It's going to be a team to contend with here in the future. I mean, it's going to be fun to watch them in Green Bay if they continue to get better with Jordan Love. And even Minnesota. No, and even Minnesota. No, I don't know what Chicago's doing, but even Minnesota, that's going to be a good division to watch. So those were those championship games, like I said. Didn't want to rehash them too much. But no, that's how we ended up being where we are with the 49ers and the Chiefs playing for the Super Bowl. So coaching changes. No, we had that go on as well. We had some movement. There's a lot of things that's happened since the last time I was on here. Seattle has hired Michael McDonald as their head coach. That was an interesting hire to me. And here's why. Michael McDonald. No, and of course you all know Michigan fan. You see the clock back there. A big Michigan fan. So last year, the year before, um, Jim Harbaugh hires Michael McDonald as the defensive coordinator for the Michigan Wolverines. Okay, he hires him, um, and you see automatically that he has a very innovative mind when it comes to defenses. His defensive scheme is really good, and they go to beat Ohio State for the first time, and it's an amazing accomplishment. It's an amazing thing. I think this is probably the second time to beat. I don't remember who was the defensive coordinator the first time. Was it Mike McDonald? I don't know. I know we beat him 3 years in a row. So, um, but but yes, I think it was the first time we were able to beat Ohio State in a while. So he stays in Michigan for 1 year, and then he goes back to Baltimore, and he becomes the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. All right, Leaf Martindale. He goes over to the Giants, who's also obviously though going to Michigan now. This Michigan, Baltimore, they just be swapping. Um, but um, but Mike McDonald, he goes back to Baltimore. First year with Baltimore, you see what he does. Top five defense. No, he does some great things with Raekwon Smith, Patrick Queen. No, Marlon. No, love Marlon Humphrey. Love the Humphrey family. We actually go to church with them, and I get a chance to talk with Bobby Humphrey and Martrikis, the older brother. Love that family. But what he was able to do with that defense was pretty innovative. And then, of course, last year you see they had the number one defense, and they dominate. Though some of these top offensive coordinators, you talk about your Sean McVays and your Kyle Shanahan. I know my brother's gonna get upset with me, but your Mike McDaniels. You just see that he dominates those defenses, those offenses with his defensive scheme. So what Seattle does is to say, you know what, we found our guy. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna hire this 1 year defensive coordinator in college. No, 2 years in the NFL, and we're gonna hire him to be our head coach because the one thing that we see is he can stop this Shanahanian type offense. And what division does Seattle play in? They play the Rams twice. They play the 49ers twice. So it gives them, in their eyes, I guess, a heads up on or a leg up on those teams because they feel like they have a head coach that can stop those offenses. I'm just surprised at how fast that happened. Like I said, that's what I was getting to. But man, that happened fast. I only heard of Mike McDonald 3 years ago. He is a head coach already for the Seattle Seahawks. That is wow. But okay, no. So we'll see if that's going to be a good hire for Seattle. We got Dan Quinn. Going over to Washington, which was also a pretty interesting hire. I want to talk a little bit about Eric Bieniemy as well because it looks like he's going to be out of coaching job this year. You got that. Over in Tennessee, I don't remember who they hired at Tennessee. Was that the no, who they hired? Is that the Callahan guy? That they hired in Tennessee. Let me look that up real fast. But no, Tennessee hires a coach. Of course, Carolina. They go with the Canales. I think is his name. They go there, and you see some of those big name guys like Pete, no, like Pete Carroll and um, Bill Belichick not getting jobs, or they just weren't hired this year. And I got the question: did I think that was surprising? I'm looking at the Tennessee Titans head coach. I just want to make sure that I got the right individual down. So let me go ahead and type that in. Tennessee Titans head coach. But I was asked, was I surprised that they did not? That they did. Yes, Brian Canahan. He's going to be the head coach for the Tennessee Titans now. But I was asked, was I surprised about him not getting maybe the Atlanta job, where they hire Raheem Morris, or the Washington job where they get Dan Quinn, or Tennessee and Brian Callahan. I don't think they would have wanted to go to Carolina, but Seattle. And I was saying to my older brother, I was like, it's not really surprising to me, and here's why. When you talk about those coaches, when you talk about a coach like Bill Belichick, when you talk about a coach like even Pete Carroll, they've won championships, they've won Super Bowl, they've had success on even different levels. No, at least Pete Carroll has. He's won national championship, he's won Super Bowls. So to me, when you look at a coach like Bill Belichick, He is a coach that is ready to step in and win you a Super Bowl that year. Okay. I think that's what he's looking for. I think that's what any other teams would be looking for. And I know that may not fall in line because I think he was interviewing for the Atlanta job, this, that, whatever. I personally would not think that he would have wanted that job. I'm not sure unless he felt like he could take Desmond Ritter to the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't know. But I think Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll, those guys are ready to step into teams that are already built. And all they need is just that extra push, just that extra step to get to the next level. I think that's why it was so important when the Cowboys decided not to fire McCarthy, or when the Eagles decided not to fire Nick Sirianni, because I think those are the teams where you will see a coach like Belichick come in, or Pete Carroll come in, or something like that. I don't think they want to go and do a rebuild with like Washington, no, or Tennessee, or even Atlanta. Even though Atlanta is loaded with talent with Bijan and Kyle Pitts and Drake London and those guys, I don't think those are the teams that you want to hire the older coach, that's going to expect that winning mindset right away. But a team like Dallas that is right on the verge, a team like Philly that is right on the verge, that's been to the Super Bowl, I think those are the teams that you would have seen them go to. And it didn't surprise me when he didn't get the Atlanta job, or when he didn't get those other jobs, because I'm like, well, do you really want Bill Belichick or Pete Carroll to come in and be the one to rebuild? Because I think the team that gets them would have known we got 2 years, 3 years at the most. Are those teams 2 years, 3 years from winning championships? I don't think they are. Maybe they could be. I don't think they are. So that's why it wasn't surprising to me that they did not get those jobs. I think what you will see from Belichick is he will probably go work for CBS or Fox or somebody like that, and you will see him be like a consultant. Now, he might pull a Doc Rivers, what Doc Rivers did over with Milwaukee, and I don't know. No, I'm saying that just no facetiously, just being funny. But you may see him be a consultant, just to be around the organization in case week 6, week 7, they decide to move on from Mike McCarthy. You may see him do that in like a team like Dallas, or a team like Philly. Maybe one of these teams that were on the verge of or thinking about moving on. That's where I think you'll see him kind of show his face, kind of take his head out of the turtle shell, like, hey, I'm still here. Just being that consultant and someone around, that way if they decide to move on, they'll be able to slide them back in. But it didn't surprise me that they weren't hired for some of these young upstart teams, simply because of the fact that those are young upstart teams. And I think that they wanted to get coaches in there that are young, innovative, that can probably relate, and things like that. So that's how I think the hiring with in regards to those particular teams. You got Jim Harbaugh, who's officially on over there in LA with the Chargers. So some really huge coaching carousels that happened throughout the last couple of weeks. But person that didn't get a job, Airbnb. Um, I don't understand the whole ordeal with Airbnb. Now, you've heard rumblings at the beginning of the season that talked about his coaching method, his attention to detail when he was when it comes to discipline, things like that. And you heard players. Well, I didn't hear players, but there were reports about this lack of connection. That wasn't a really good. I'm not gonna say not a good relationship, but there was some grumblies going on about how the team viewed his methods of doing things, and I don't know. No, I don't know. I remember Eric Bieniemy as a running back in Colorado. He ran hard. He played hard. But as a coach, I've always thought that he was innovative. I thought that when he was Kansas City, in Kansas City, you really saw, in my opinion, you really saw how the players connected to him. Now, not every player. You hear LaShawn McCoy say some stuff, about um Airbnb that's not as flattering. Just like Le'Veon Bell said some stuff about Andy Reid that wasn't flattering. So no, it's not going to be 100% the case. But the thing that gets me about EB, the thing that gets me about Airbnb is you see other coaches that were similar to him in his same position, doing the same things that he was doing, and you've seen them have opportunity to flourish. Some of them have already gotten one, two different head coaching jobs. You look at somebody like Matt Nagy, same position. Now, people like to say all the time, well, when he was in Kansas City, he didn't call his plays. Andy Reid calls the plays. And I like to bring up, okay, Matt Nagy got a job being an offense coordinator in Kansas City. Did he call the plays? No, he didn't. Okay, what's the difference? Doug Peterson got a call being got a head coaching job being a no Andy Reid. Did he call the plays? Okay, well he got a job. Kevin McConnell got a job being the offensive coordinator in LA. I mean for the Rams. Did he call the play? So no, even no Mike McDaniel, even some of these other guys, you see them get jobs being the offensive coordinator of a purely dominant offense. Simply because they're connected, and I think that's what they look at the connection. Okay, he's connected to Andy Reid. May not call the plays, but he's gonna bring that scheme over here. No, Doug Peterson. Okay, may not call the plays, but he's connected to Andy Reid. He's gonna bring that offense over here. But for some reason, that has not rubbed off with Airbnb, where it's okay. Andy Reid, Airbnb, he's connected to Andy Reid as well as Patrick Mahomes and won two Super Bowls. So let's bring that over here and see if we can make that work. That does not seem to be happening with him. Yet we're seeing coaches like Mike McDonald get a job in like 2 years. We saw your boy over there that was coaching the Rams, Brandon Staley get a job after being a coordinator for like 1 or 2 years. You see O'Connell get a job being a coordinator for 1 or 2 years. So you it's interesting, and I don't want to just say okay it's because he's black. I don't want to just do that. That's to me lazy. That's that no really lazy analysis. I can't say that I don't think that doesn't play a part, but you know to just put it on that, I don't want to go that far. But I would love for someone to explain or tell me why won't we give Airbnb a job. I mean, when was the last time you saw an individual like 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 Airbnb who had the success that he had, and the only way for him to get to the next level is to do a lateral move, to go from the offensive coordinator here to the offensive coordinator there. All right. I just saw Dan Quinn get destroyed by a Green Bay team that got hot late in the season, and they got ran up and down the field, and he went from defense coordinator to head coach. Defense coordinator to head coach. So I don't understand how that happened. Even you look at somebody like Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore didn't get a head coaching job, but his offense kind of started to fade away. And the next year, he's offensive coordinator for the Chargers. I mean, so it's I just would want someone to explain to me. I want to be careful with how I say it, but someone would just have to explain to me what's different about Airbnb. Are we saying he's not qualified? What are we saying? Because he is not getting the opportunities that some of these other guys have gotten. So no, hopefully, no, he lands somewhere nice, somewhere that he fits. I think fits where you fit that matters. And I'm looking forward to seeing Airbnb back on the sideline because I do think that he can be a successful coach. Now, I don't know, no, but I think that he has the ability to be assistant professor. Just give him a chance. No, just give him a chance so we can see, so we can find out. No, that's all I'm saying. We've seen a lot of less qualified coaches get chances. So without trying to put race on it, let's look out for EB, man. Let's try to get Airbnb, a head coach job and see, if he can be, as good at coaching as he was, as a college running back. So, um, that's what's going on in the NFL. Of course, the NBA is going on now. We're getting ready to go into our All Star break. Trade deadline just passed this week. So there's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of things going on. Of course, being the Miami Heat guy, I always want to see the Heat do something big. Once again, they did not do something big. Um, but nevertheless, I guess we just have to trust that Spoelstra and Pat know what they're doing. So I want to see. I'm looking at the Celtics continue to make moves. I'm looking at Milwaukee continue to make moves. Although I don't know if the main move Milwaukee made is going to help them. I know Gilbert Arenas definitely does not feel like this move helps Milwaukee. Loves listening to those guys on Gil's Arena as they talk through some of these basketball transactions. Of course, Patrick Beverly leaving Philly, going over to Milwaukee to help, shore up that defensive side. You have, Philly losing Patrick Beverly, and at the same time having Joel Embiid be on the injured list, after meniscus surgery. So a lot of things going on in the NFL. I mean, I'm sorry, in the NBA. When it comes to those transactions, of course, on the West Side, you have the Lakers still, trickling along, right there, at the 500 mark. Still looks like those teams to beat. As I'm looking at it, is Denver. No, Denver still looks like that team to beat. But you see these young teams like Minnesota, Oklahoma City. You see them kind of looking around up top. So be interesting to see if they can go to that next level, and make some noise. Of course, Dallas is still there with Luca. And you know what's interesting about Dallas? Because I was watching them play the other day, and Luca's one of my favorite players to watch. I love watching Luca because he's just fun. And I look at the Knicks and what the Knicks are doing, because the Knicks are really playing good ball over there in the East Side as well. The Knicks are playing well, and I'm looking at Jalen Brunson. I'm like, man, they had Jalen Brunson on that Dallas team, and I'm not saying Jalen Brunson is better than Kyrie, but man, Dallas sure looked a lot better with Jalen Brunson than they do with Kyrie. So I'm wondering, they're kind of regretting that move. But no, I do like Luca. And then you got the Clippers. The Clippers are playing pretty good right now. Now, I don't want to forget about them, because they're not one of them young teams like Milwaukee. I'm sorry, like Minnesota and Oklahoma City. They are veterans, and if when Kawhi is playing, now to me, he is just as fun to watch as as Luca. When Kawhi is healthy, man, I would even say those are two of my favorite players to watch, man. Kawhi when he's healthy on the offensive defensive side, and then of course Luca when he's doing what he's doing. Um, they're really fun to watch. So we got some things going on in NBA. As we end the football season, the UFC might teach to switch over to there. I'm always going to be looking at what's going on the MMA side as well with mixed martial arts in the UFC. There's a lot of conversation going on in the UFC right now when it comes to you know, um, the the whole aura of what they want to stand for when it comes to free speech and things of that nature, which you're able to say. There's a lot of things going on there. Love the sport. No, I absolutely love the sport. But man, some of them guys, when they open their mouths, it's like, oh my gosh, what are y'all talking about? Even Dana White, Dana White, don't know him personally. I think he is an extremely smart businessman. But man, when he says some of the things that he says, and I'm like, man, it's really about money. No, over here, money. That's what we want. We want the money. So but no, as some of these big fights, we got some big fights coming up here pretty soon. We'll talk through some of those fights, some of those big fights, and see what you all think about that. So, um, no, that is it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sign off right now. Like I was saying earlier when we got started, we got some family stuff going on. Of course, the boys, the twin boys, they're getting ready to graduate here soon, and they're starting to make those decisions on college. One of them has made a decision as to where he wants to play ball at next year. Um, Kind of interesting for me because I've never been through this process from the recruiting side. I will say that when you look at how college football and the scope of college football and the portal, things like that, how that's going, it really hurts high school kids because they're not getting the offers that I feel like they deserve. And I'm just looking at my son, for example, and I think my son is a D1 scholarship athlete. He absolutely is. And that's just not me talking as a father. That's me seeing him put the work in, seeing him go out and do it. And for me, and I'll take responsibility for this, I have somewhat failed him when it comes to the exposure stuff because I didn't do the camps probably like I needed to do. And I didn't, drive him around here and take him there, take him here, take him there. So he's somewhat of an unknown. So he's going to go ahead and he's going to attend. I hope he doesn't get upset about me saying it. He's put it out there. He's going to attend Murray State as a walk on. He loved the school. He loved his time there. Coach Jody Wright got a chance to meet him. He's really looking forward to it. But I'm looking at the scope and I'm like, man, no, he's a scholarship athlete. No, but nevertheless, no, he's going to go out there. He's going to work hard. He's going to show why he's a Barnes. He said to me the other day, I was watching Dan Lebitard and they were in Vegas. And of course, those of you that know me, big fan of the show. Anybody that filters through that show, I'm fans of. When it comes to the Mina Kynes and the Foxworths, Bo Money Jones, of course, everybody who's ever talked to me know that if I was to meet someone, that's who will be being able to have a conversation with him about some of the things I think we may have a lot in common. But no, he's sitting there, he's watching me watch them do what they're doing. And he says to me, he said, "You're going to meet him one day." He said, "I'm going to make it where you meet him one day. He's going to want to interview you because of me." And I said, "Okay, we'll make it happen." I said, I put in a couple applications for Metalark Media, so to be on their HR team or something. And no, Mr. Skipper or Mr. Levitar didn't call me back yet. But with that being said, he is going to go to Murray State. He's going to be a walk on there. And, he's going to go and he's going to work hard and he's going to earn that scholarship. I believe he will. He believes he will. I hope that coaching staff is ready for what he's going to be bringing to the table because I think he's going to be dynamic. So the other one, my other twin, he is looking. No, I'll let him make that. He hasn't officially said anything yet, but he is looking at Jacksonville State. He is looking at Troy. He's going to go ahead and he's going to make a decision here pretty soon. I got an idea as to where he's going to be going, but I will let him break it first, and then I will let you all know from there. So the boys are making decisions. Of course, I have my daughter who's still at Auburn. She's doing some really good things at Auburn. I don't hear from her a lot, but I miss her. And when she talks to her mom, I know that she's doing well. So family's big for me. Family's big for me. I am a faith-based man. You see my cross here. That does mean something to me. I do believe in living right, doing right. And if you do that, God will bless you. That is my foundation. That's what my parents put in me. So that's why family is really big to me. So I'm always going to be thinking about praying for and doing what I can for my family. I continue to pray for my mother-in-law. She continues her recovery. We see the blessings that's going on there as well. So 2024, it has some great things in store. Now, that rhymes. Didn't do that on purpose. No, 23 ended rocky, but 24, no, I think that it has some great things in store. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to log off. I hope you all enjoy the Super Bowl weekend. Hope your team wins. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your family. Peace and love. Talk to you all later.